Hey there. Is anybody else going through a time of great emotional turmoil where you just need to hyperfixate on a piece of media from 20 years ago so you don't accidentally destroy your own inner world with too much introspection? Great, me too. So let's talk about which. Real talk. I've been trying to do this video for months. I've written like 4 different scripts. I'm just very unpracticed at talking about things that are good. I've only got a lot to say typically when things are really, really bad, like World of Winx. I Will Die on This Hill. It's a bad show. But I hate how I sounded when I was just going off of a script. I was stuttering and halting, and I just didn't sound like me when I was talking. And I'll be honest, I was very intimidated by how many of you subscribed last time. Like, there are 170 people out there with questionable enough taste to like my videos. So, I mean, thanks for that. I'm appreciative. So, anyways, Witch. Witch is a fantastic show. The characters, I believe that they like are the ages that they are. They have this like cruel cattiness in a friendly way that you really only see in true friends. Like, I totally buy the main friend group of Will, Irma, Tarani, Halen, and Cornelia. Irma is billed as the funny one straight away, and she does get a lot of really funny lines. That's another thing. The humor holds up really well in this show as well, I think. But she's not like the token funny character. Like, they all get really funny lines every now and then. She's just got like a really sardonic, sarcastic voice to her humor, and I really, really love it. It's so hard to pick a favorite character out of these girls because they all have such strong personalities. You'd never be able to replace one of them with the other. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone the last 4 seasons of Winx Club. And I don't even really want to compare this show to Winx Club because, yeah, they have some stuff in common, but a lot of it is just tropes of the genre. Like, of course, they transform into cute outfits. Of course, there's a missing princess. Of course, there's a new girl in school. This is a young girls' fantasy series from the early 2000s. Like, of course, it's going to have all of those elements. When you really get into the show and you see, like, what makes the characters tick, what all of the conflicts are, it's actually pretty different from Winx Club. The whole vibe of the show is a bit more, like, dark high fantasy, where Winx Club was, like, futurism and very fashion oriented. I do really like the fashion in Witch as well, except for Haylen's like everyday school outfit. I'm not a fan of yellows. All of the colors were a bit too loud, and everybody else is dressing for early fall. Why are you in a midriff bearing outfit with a mini skirt? That's not to say that I don't love Halen. I'm just not super into her fashion. Her Guardian outfit is gorgeous, though. I love all of their Guardian outfits, except for the stockings. I hate the stockings. The stripiness looks too cartoonish and bold next to everything else. They could have just made the stockings a solid color or something. Boo on the stripes. Boo. I'll die on this hill. I'll die on this hill forever. The stripes are ugly. Get rid of them. And I normally don't like when characters all have the exact same wing designs, but I also haven't seen wing designs exactly like this in other media. Like they're very cute. I like how fast they have to flap them to fly. I like how small they are relative to their body size. I also really like how the shape of them kind of invokes a dragon look, which I never really picked up on as a child. Like I didn't pay attention at all to the episode in season 1 that was explaining their backstory when I was younger. I was just like, they're fairy girls. And it's much more badass because they're dragon fairy girls. God, this show is amazing. Why didn't it get a season 3? But as much as I like season 1, I like it specifically because it's well made. And it being well made means that there's not a whole lot for me to talk about. Like, yeah, there are some funny bits here and there, but if you're watching this video without having seen W.I.T.C.H, you're not going to get anything out of me just explaining the very best parts to you. If you haven't watched W.I.T.C.H, what the hell are you doing here, actually? And just jumping back to how the characters look real quick, because I'm sleep deprived and insane right now, and this is going to be a very scattered video. Sorry if anybody was expecting high production value. Whoops. But jumping back to how the characters looks, I really, really like Tarani. Like her whole character, I love the whole scaredy cat vibe. I get very endeared to characters who have like a lot of anxiety. I find them very relatable. And something that I like in particular about her guardian design is the fact that she keeps her glasses after she's transformed. I can't really remember another piece of magical girl media that has somebody just retain their glasses when they're transformed. It just struck me as a really cool piece. I don't know, maybe I'm focusing in on that too much. I also really liked how during the first season, Will didn't have the quintessence powers. Like, she was really just flying and like having a hand in some melee combat in the first season. Like, when I was a kid, I felt like it was unfair that she didn't have any powers in season 1 when I was watching it for the first time. Like, she's just the leader who organizes them. But now I really like that they did that in season 1, because it really lets her establish herself as like an integral part of the whole friend group. As the leader, she's very good at organizing and coming up with plans. All of these characters are just really well developed. Cornelia, I would say, is definitely one of the funniest characters for me, because I can't remember the last time I saw a nature-oriented character who was very much a mall rat. Like, normally I think of a hippy-dippy flower child as the one who has nature powers. Like Flora from Winx Club, not to invoke that whole thing, but like, I cannot imagine Cornelia existing somewhere that doesn't have AC and access to Wi-Fi. But Cornelia is also a little too boy crazy for my liking. And so is Elion, honestly. Like, when Lord Cedric opens up the bookshop in season 1 and they're like fawning over him, it's like, come on, girls, step back. Step the fuck back. This is a grown man with a bookshop and a ponytail. And he is so creepy toward them. Kudos to this show for like getting groomer behavior down and showing that it comes from villains. Because, oh my god, if a grown man that you've never met before starts expressing that much interest in you right upon meeting, that is an immediate red flag. I hope no children are watching my channel, because, like, I'm not making these videos about these shows for children. But if there are kids watching this, please, please know that you don't need a creepy older man to give you affection. Like, honestly, Cornelia and Elion would be in the teacher crush community on Tumblr. I don't know if that's still a thing, but it was back when I was on Tumblr, and it was a scary place. Not to say I don't like these characters, I actually really love Elion. I felt so bad for her all throughout this. She's got like these demigod-like powers. She's easily the most powerful person on screen when she's present. And she keeps getting like hoodwinked and bamboozled and gaslit by all of these different people who just want to use her for her power. She's so, so vulnerable as a character. And okay, so real quick, I side with Cornelia in the season 1 argument. They should have told Elion right away. Like, I don't believe Will at all when she was like, she'll never believe us if we tell her that she's a princess from another world. I'm sorry, but if my friends when I was in middle school were like, hey, you're a magic princess from a parallel world, I might have been a little skeptical at first, but if they turned into older fairy women immediately after they told me that, I would be inclined to believe anything they said. You've got magic. It's not like she'll think you're lying about having magic. Like, she's feeling lonely and vulnerable because her friends are ditching her and not being there for her when she's having a rough time. I know conflict has to occur in stories for anything to happen in them, but I don't like it when the conflict comes from lack of communication. Because communication is the easiest problem to solve. Also, I'm just gonna drop right here that I know there are graphic novels. I am aware of that. I have not read any of them. My entire witch experience begins and ends with the 2 seasons produced by Disney. Another thing that kind of makes season 1 pale in comparison to season 2 is the quality of villains we have. Now, Phobos isn't a bad villain. He serves his purpose, but he's just a power-hungry dictator. Nerissa, though? Y'all, Nerissa is where it's at. She has been driven mad by power. She killed her best friend and possibly love interest. Tell me I'm not crazy. Tell me you guys are reading something into their relationship too, because damn, she just gets so upset when she has to confront what she did. Side note, real quick, in a video that is nothing but side notes, my least favorite trope in any fantasy movie is somebody with wings falling to their death. It is dumb and I hate it. It's bad enough when they do it in Winx Club, but it's worse when they do it here because she actually dies. You've got wings. Like, you can't just fall when you have wings. I feel like if this show were for an older audience, she would have been struck by the lightning in a really, really brutal way. But this was just dumb. I can't stand someone with wings plummeting to their death. Just fly up. Cassidy is also a phenomenal character. We don't really get to see enough of her outside of the one episode where Nerissa's resurrecting her and trying to win her over to her side. She's fantastically funny, all the way up until the point where I'm crying like a baby because she misses her mother and she is just so sad and wants to be with her mom again, and that's what traps her soul, and like she lets herself go to Nerissa's clutches because she just wants to be alive and hug her mom again. God, this show has no right to be this good sometimes. The heartfelt beats in this are just so real. And Narissa's really just playing 5D chess with everybody. She makes a magic copy of Halen's grandmother, the person who has been like the mentor figure for the entire group, shown to have a very deep connection to her granddaughter since really the beginning of episode 1. She makes a magic copy of Yan Lin and makes her bully Lin. It's it's diabolical. It's evil. God, she is so villainous. Nothing's off limits. She will go after friends and family, all in a pursuit of power, and she is the ultimate narcissist. She wants everybody to praise and love her, as evidenced by the fantasy she gets trapped in the last episode. It's Oh my God, she is so wrapped up inside of herself. This is what makes a good villain. Somebody who has just the ultimate conviction. They are right. They are the moral authority and you will bow down to them. That is what makes a good villain. She even has Caleb to lead the rebellion. She purposely has a child so that they can lead the rebellion and pave the path to her being on top again. How fucking mercenary to just use your kids as battle fodder and you just expect him to be grateful for it. My unhealthy obsession with Narissa is not helped at all by the fact that, like, she was my type to a T. I know I get down on people for liking Riven from the specialists from Winx Club, but you don't understand. I could change her. I could change Narissa. I could help her. I'd be good for her, you guys. And since I've already brought up Caleb, I guess I'll talk a little bit about the love interests in the show. Caleb is actually what I feel is the gold standard for a love interest. I think that kids' media is a bit too focused on romantic love just in general. I feel kind of weird about all that. But he is always plot relevant, always doing his best in a fight, trying his hardest, and acknowledges when he's done wrong and tries to apologize. This this is a good character. And then there's Matt. I'm just not a fan of Matt. Sorry, I don't have a strict reason. I don't have like a comprehensive list. I just think he's kind of boring. I feel like he got shoehorned in season 1 just to give Will a love interest. And I know he becomes more plot relevant during season 2, but I find his transformation cringy and I don't like it. So, sorry. And then there's Tarani's older brother, which I legitimately thought that it was another dude in his 20s that Cornelia had a crush on. But, whatever. He seemed like a nice enough guy. I was actually kind of rooting for him there for a second just because he seemed so sweet and earnest. So at the end here, I've just got like a couple little nitpicky things. For example, so we know that there are different people from Meridian who have moved to the human world, like Elion's adoptive parents, the girl's math teacher in season 1, and I think the painter from episode 10 after they rescue him gets a job in the museum. And that's all fine. I kind of expect to see in a world where there's multiple planes of existence, people hopping from one to the other. My issue is, how did they get all of their official documents? There's not like an immigration policy for residents of Meridian, are there? Where'd they get their social security numbers? Elion's parents have a nice house. Their math teacher has a really nice house. Do they know somebody with a good lamination machine? Like, where are they getting all of their documents and birth certificates. Where did Elion's birth certificate come from? She's enrolled in school. It's not like she just can't have one. Cornelia's sister being a heart of Earth is kind of out of left field for me. I feel like they were trying to set up some stuff for a season 3, which I'm really sad that we didn't get a season 3 at the time. Do not misinterpret me. I do not want them to come back for a season 3 now. Do you think we'll get anything close to what the original show was now? They're going to completely misunderstand this whole entire intellectual property. They're going to mess it up. I know they will. Maybe Disney in the future can get straightened out and do something with this, but Disney right now needs to stay the fuck away from Witch. If they come out with a season 3 now, I'm going to ignore it, just like I'm ignoring all of the live action Disney movies. I don't care about them just rehashing a bunch of old stuff from the past. I like the original stuff. I fucking hate the remakes. End of. Maybe one day I'll go back and do a second video about Witch. Maybe I'll dive deeper into some episodes, or heck, maybe I'll even just read the graphic novels. Who knows what the future holds? But I think that's going to be the end of it for me. If you've got any suggestions about magical girl shows or media you'd like me to look into or make a video on, let me know. Or don't let me know and just send it out into the universe as an intention. And if I make the video, you'll know that we have synced up our minds in the ether and will feel less alone. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm very, very sleep deprived at this point. Thank you to everybody who waited patiently for this review to come out. This isn't really a review. This is me just talking and not stopping. But tune in next time, because I'm definitely going to be talking about Pop Pixie next, because it is the worst entry in the entire Winx Club series. World of Winx can't even touch this, not even kind of. I've got so much to say about Pop Pixie, and I don't even know where to start. But I appreciate anyone who has watched this far, and if you bailed out early, you're not listening to this part, but I still appreciate that too. All right, so bye.